Hello, everybody, and welcome to the War and Peace Baseball Podcast. I am Ray Estrada. We are here today with Farbod Markazi, Alex Roude, and a very special guest, Mr. J.R. Hernandez of the Angry Dodgers Podcast. How's it going, everybody?
I'm doing great.
Hey,
How
yay!
We finally got
Sorry.
a guest on the show. I mean, I know it's not a
it's
name
been
brand, but
over a
a guest is a
year.
guest, and goddamn it, we'll take it. So glad to have you on the show, J.R.
I didn't know I was your
And,
guys' first guest. I'm honored.
yeah,
Thank you for
first
reaching
guest
guest was
out.
besides like a dad
2017.
or anything. Yeah,
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
First,
That still counts.
yeah.
yes, first peer in the industry.
Second
Yeah.
guest. I'll take it.
Yeah, but thank you for doing this. Thanks for helping us out. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah. So we'll jump right into it, and a pretty easy storyline. With especially with our guest here today, Cody Bellinger yesterday, Sunday, had another multi-home run game, his sixth of the year, one behind Mark McGwire for the rookie record. This past week earned him the NL Player of the Week.
His second of his career
yeah.
already in his young career.
In his young career. So I mean, we talk about Bellinger every single week, but he really deserves it. I mean, JR, we'll get your perspective on this. What's your thoughts on Bellinger?
I mean, he's obviously crushing it. I don't think anyone expected him to do what he's doing. We kind of knew he was going to be a power bat, but not to this extent. I think he has to regress at some point. I mean, I hope he doesn't, but I mean, if he's going to be like a perennial 50 home run player, that would be amazing. But, I'm going to temper expectations. He's off to this hot start. I could see him being an easy 30 homer guy every year for us. But as far as right now, I think we just got to enjoy the ride, enjoy it while it's happening. And it's amazing. I mean, it's really hard to put into words. I mean, what's it been, like 50 games he's played, 57 games?
Yeah.
I don't have the exact number, but 24 home runs in that span is just flat out incredible.
When you just take a look at baseball right now, the home run leader right now in the American League is Aaron Judge, a rookie. Yes, he played games last year. Yes, he struggled last year, but this is his rookie year. He's a rookie. The home run leader in the National League right now is Cody Bellinger. He's a rookie. Baseball's fun to watch right now. These Bellinger, Judge, these guys are doing something that I as an Angels fan, I thought I was kind of depressed when Trout went down. So this is fun for me to watch too. I mean, it's amazing. I do, like you said, JR, I do expect Bellinger to regress a little bit, but I mean, right now he's the runaway rookie of the year, as is Judge.
Yeah, I mean, I would say we're living in an era of very youth-dominant baseball where the rookies can be MVPs, and it's not even that outlandish. And if anything, they're deserving. So it really seems to be, 2017 baseball is one dominated by the youngest players. And I think just for team strategy, Bellinger is a great example of why. We see teams that are even making the playoffs decide to keep invest in youth as much as anything and draft well and make sure they're keep getting top prospects up into the majors even while they're still contending, because those guys are honestly in this day and age the best guys, and they're the cheapest and the most valuable to have.
Yeah, and you talked about like regression, and we've talked about that before too. And he had a little mini slump for a couple weeks, not too long ago. Then he shot right back into the power numbers. I still don't expect him to keep up these kind of power numbers throughout his career, but he's not too far off from where he is now. And the fact that he hits lefties so well is so encouraging to his longevity of being this type of hitter. I don't care how much he pulls the ball. Like I briefly explained this about his swing, how it's not a traditional lefty pull swing. It's very encouraging just how well he's played, and if you really
It's a pretty swing.
It is a beautiful swing. If you really take a good look at Bellinger, you can see why he is going to be here for a long time. And I saw him in high A, and my dad and I said he's going to be the next Dodger star.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's kind of fun to see these, like, in consecutive years, we kind of have guys coming up, this whole youth movement. You had the Jock Peterson year, and then you had Corey Seager, Cody Bellinger this year. and you could even maybe throw Puig in that category. It's fun. It's been fun times seeing these kids come up, and looks like we're gonna have a nice young core moving forward.
Yeah.
I'm gonna ask you guys this: if you guys were to, as Dodger fans, if you guys were to build a team around one of those two guys, Seager or Bellinger, which one would it be?
Definitely Seager.
Yeah,
Absolutely Seager.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, and no disrespect to Cody, but I think.
I mean, the answer very well. My answer, your answer could very well be different in a year or two.
Right.
But for now, I think Corey Seager.
I think
if
he's
Cody
more
keeps
of a
this up.
complete player, yeah.
Yeah, if Cody keeps this up, like if he keeps this going and crushes 60 home runs a season, then yeah, to your point, we might switch to Cody there. But for now, I'd probably go Seager.
Where do you guys see his long-term position is? First base or outfield?
First
or
base.
even somewhere else? First base. Okay.
First base. Agon's thrown out the word retirement if his back keeps acting up, especially as his contract ends, I think after next year. So, I mean, it's in the very near future that, and Bellinger is next start at first base, and then he can play the outfield, but I mean, there's gonna be the hole at first base in no more than a year and a half. So
yeah, if you notice, the only reason he's even been in the outfield is really when Adrian was there. That's one of the only time Cody was really in the outfield consistently. Once Agon's gone, you'll see Cody. He's gonna be the guy. He's the guy. And they even took that picture before the season. It was like Garvey, Karros, Gonzalez, and Bellinger, kind of like a Mount Rushmore of like Dodgers first baseman. So, kind of foreshadowing the ascension of Cody Bellinger.
Yeah. So we've said all our pieces about Cody Bellinger. We've said our piece for weeks now, and we can't get enough of this guy. If he keeps it up, he'll be basically on every podcast. But we'll move on to the AL Player of the Week. Somebody I'm very happy about on my fantasy team, Corey Kluber. This past week had a 0 ERA. If you didn't know, that is very good, and that is actually the best ERA. So he.
Well, I gotta do some math real quick. Let me see if that works out.
Thanks,
Okay.
Ray.
Yeah. So he earned AL Player of the Week honors, and we kind of saw this coming when he had that first good start against the A's. We said Corey Kluber, he's gonna return to form, and he's been exceptional since their return from the DL. Yay, silence.
He's just a monster. I mean,
go ahead.
I think, as great as Sale's been, I think you could also make the case that maybe Kluber's actually been the best pitcher in the AL this year. And, he's like, the alternate universe Jake Arrieta. Those both guys who kind of came out of nowhere originally to become aces. They were never super heavily touted as prospects, which is pretty rare in modern age pitchers. And both, got us Cy Young, both had had their dominant stretches, and both kind of had their ups and downs. And Kluber's the one who's kind of ascended and kept his ability going, while Arrieta is the guy who's kind of regressed to what he was before he reached his peak. And definitely impressive by Kluber to be able to bounce back from several injuries the past 2 years and return to form each time.
I haven't gotten to see a lot of Kluber this year, but I don't doubt it. I think the guy has been sneaky good for the past few years, so it really doesn't shock me that he's doing it once again. Definitely a guy that is a must-watch if you're talking about the Indians as a playoff team. I mean, that's one of the names that comes to mind right away. He's the ace of that staff, and yeah, I mean, unless you want to count Andrew Miller, who's like the real best pitcher on that team. Yeah. But Kluber doing the huge, no surprise there. Yeah.
Yeah, he's nasty. I mean, you just have to watch highlights and you'll see how nasty he is. Circling back to the Dodgers, unless Bodie wanted to add anything.
I was gonna say basically a combination of what Roude and JR said. I was like, we've seen what he's done. We've seen his Cy Young, was it 2014 or 2015?
2014.
Either way,
14.
We've seen his performance in his Cy Young year. He regressed a little bit, but then we saw how dominant he was in the playoffs last year. If the Indians want to be a successful playoff team this year, he has to be the dominant guy that he's been pitching like so far.
Yeah. So, little quick note, another Dodger note. Kenley Jansen finally walked a hitter. 51 strikeouts. I believe this was Sunday. He still got a save, but he got a 5-out save, which I can't remember how many it is, but it's the most 4+ out save in the majors. But 51 strikeouts before he walked a guy this season, which is just absolutely unreal. But to make up for that in the same game, he had an RBI double off Greg Holland, so that's just awesome.
I was a big fan of that streak. I wanted it to keep going well into the All-Star break, and I knew it was gonna end on some sort of fuckery. I just knew it, and just like it was if
That's baseball for you, though.
Yeah, exactly. Like they left him in even though we were up by I forget how many runs.
Oh yeah, I saw your tweet. It was the why though tweet.
Yeah, so I knew it was gonna end on something wacky like that, but it's fun. Kenley is just nasty, and I'm very, very happy that they locked him up. Just give him all the money. He's well worth it.
Yeah, I didn't mind it because I picked him up in fantasy, so I was like, okay, more fantasy stats, I'll take that. But I mean, Jansen is arguably the best closer in the league, and it's unreal. And then RBI double, you just smoked that thing. That was great. Another bullpen news. Let's go to the other end of the spectrum in terms of bullpens. Dodgers, the best bullpen statistically in the majors this year so far, and just go to the one of the worst, the Nationals. They've been struggling. They've blown the most multi-run leads after the 8th. They've given up a ton of runs. They picked up Francisco Rodriguez. They signed him to a minor league contract today after he was released by the Tigers. Nationals are just trying anything at this point, aren't they?
I mean, was Eric Gagne not available? He was looking for work earlier this
I
year.
think he actually did.
Wait, what about Ryan?
There you go.
I think
Now
Gagne unfortunately, unfortunately did retire earlier this season, but he's probably effective as K-Rod at this point. I mean, I can't believe K-Rod and Joe Nathan just up until I guess Joe Nathan finally retired, but those two guys just kept on going way past their closing primes. I mean, and K-Rod's effective for a while.
Those are two guys who had resurgences too, though. You're like, okay, they've kind of figured something out, and then they went straight off a cliff.
Exactly. It's really impressive. To K-Rod, he was effective the last couple years or so.
Yeah, and it's really impressive that the Nationals haven't created a dependable bullpen year on year at this point into their
it's going to be interesting to see what they do if they do anything at the trade deadline.
They have to get some bullpen.
And I completely agree with you, but I mean last year was the one that they went out and got Melanson. But I don't remember years past where they've
never had bullpen depth though. I mean, they've had effective closers at times. I think Rafael Soriano was pretty good from that one point, and
Applebaum choked out Harper.
Applebaum. They've had a lot
They're
of
very effective in their own ways.
A lot of attempts, patching guys in and just hoping they would figure it out. But even when they had an effective closer, I've never felt like they've ever really had 3 of the 5 effective arms in the bullpen. They never had, the ability to go deep with them. And I think, that's one of the most important things to have in baseball, especially if you're trying to win the World Series. And the Nationals just really have to do a better job at assembling that part of the roster if they want to go anywhere in the playoffs again this year.
You know what? I think they should just go full Ned Colletti and assemble an army of former closers. I'm sure Brian Wilson is looking for work as well.
He's a knuckleball,
I'm sure Sergio Romo is going to be looking for a job pretty soon. Nationals just pick all those guys up and put them in the bullpen and just see what sticks.
Chris Perez.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, just pick them all up.
Jose Valverde. Oh my God.
I mean, I could take it back. Let's throw Byung-Young Kim in there. Let's do it. Nationals just go all in. Absolutely.
Bring Daisuke Matsuzaka back too.
There you go.
Remember Takashi Saito for the Dodgers, JR?
Oh yeah, absolutely, yeah. Yeah, I think I wouldn't doubt it. I mean, he's is he pitching in Japan? Because I feel like I heard his name recently, or I could be completely mistaken. But I wouldn't be shocked.
I wouldn't be surprised if he's pitching. I mean, just a side note. Now that we're on the topic slight topic of Japanese pitchers. Have you seen that entrance of the
Oh, that was
Yeah.
interesting.
Japan
The
in
closer
car?
entrance.
I heard something about it, but I
I
haven't.
feel like
It is legit
in the
It is legit a WWE entrance. It's like all manufactured. All the crowd gets excited. They show, and it's like all the camera and stuff. They show the guy getting the call from the bullpen coach. And he points to the closer, and then the car rolls up to the gate, and he rides in on a car to the mound.
dude, imagine if they did that here in the MLB. The closer would get so much shit for that.
Well, I mean, just think of how epic like closer like. I mean, just think Mariano Rivera with Enter Sandman and stuff like that. Trevor Hoffman, I can't remember what his.
It was Hell's Bells.
It was Hell's Bells.
It was Hell's Bells, yeah.
Yeah, you're right. But like, I mean, those are epic closer entrances. But could you imagine having a WWE style entrance on a car? Just
That'd be awesome.
That's just absolutely ridiculous. So the All-Star break is coming up. And I mean, sooner than we thought. I'm going on vacation on Thursday, and then when I get back, it's going to be.
It can't come soon enough for me because Trout's supposed to be back by then.
Freddie Freeman's going to be back. I think Dallas Keuchel's going to be back around the All-Star break. All-Star break is a lot of these early season injuries. Like All-Star break is the target. So, but the home run derby, love it or hate it. I mean, I still enjoy it. I like new format.
Why did you stop liking it after Puig swung and missed?
No, but I mean, there are people saying like, oh, the home run derby's not exciting or something. I don't know why. It's.
You're telling me a home run derby
honest.
with Stanton and Judge wouldn't be exciting this year?
I'm not saying that. I'm saying some people have talked about the home run derby being not exciting.
I play devil's advocate live when I was at Angel Stadium. Honestly, I thought it was really like a snooze fest, but as amazing as to say, and I think live it's honestly a poor event because you really notice the commercial breaks and there's absolutely nothing going on during them, and there's no one to really build up the suspense or the tension. And I wasn't in the outfield, and I think actually it's not the best live event, but I do think on TV, maybe not the whole event, but at least for parts, there's nothing like watching Stanton, the other best sluggers in the game, just smack the ball. Like it's nothing.
Yeah, I could see the commercial breaks being annoying because I went to the single A All-Star game when it was at Rancho Cucamonga a few years back. Saw home run derby with AJ Reed, Cody Bellinger, and these balls were flying. It is fun, but I can understand the commercial breaks. That's what you notice that a lot too when you go to like major sporting events, like the big four sports. Like you notice that, like I noticed that this last year going to Rams games. I never haven't been to a professional football game in my life. Just seeing like you're like, what are we doing? And then you see the certain people on the field like, oh, commercial break. You're like, okay. it is annoying, but so Stanton is confirmed to be defending his crown at the Derby in his home park. And I know you threw out Judge, and I know a lot of people throwing out Bellinger. So I would say besides Bellinger and Judge, who are some people you would like to see in the Derby, and who are some people you think could take Stanton down in his home turf?
I think people are really sleeping on. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
Thanks, man. I think people are really sleeping on Stanton. All the talk is about Bellinger and Judge. You forget that you have a monster, a home run derby monster in Giancarlo Stanton, and he's playing. Exactly.
Yeah.
He's gonna have the crowd behind him, in his home park. Yeah, exactly. And I don't think we should be so quick to say Judge and Bellinger in the finals because Giancarlo Stanton is definitely a guy to watch out for. I wouldn't be shocked to see Marcell Ozuna either, another hometown guy, 20 home runs on the season. I don't know if there's a rule that you can't have more than two guys on the same team, but just based on the hometown factor, I would go Ozuna and maybe Eric Thames. He's kind of fizzled out a bit, but he also had that hot start. Yeah. So those are just some names that come to mind for me.
As of late too, but yeah, I still have Stanton as my odds-on favorite. People are saying
I want to see a Nolan Arenado in there. I feel like he'd be fun to watch.
Yeah.
I'd like to see.
Go ahead, Rudy.
I was gonna say I'd like to see Gallo and Chris Davis personally.
Gallo,
yeah.
as well as maybe or one of Logan Morrison or George Springer. All four of those guys I feel like this year have just been effortlessly hitting home runs. Or like Springers are a little bit explosive in my eyes, but and Davis is just so strong. Gallo is just huge, and Morrison, I've just never seen a guy who just seems to like just effort. I have probably seen him before, but he just seems to effortlessly just
It's easy
those balls
power.
into. It's very easy, effortless, clean-looking power. We just kind of golfs it, pulls the ball into the right field stands over and over again. Those are some guys that I personally would like to see as well.
One thing we are missing out on is that this was the year that Trout wanted to be in the home run derbies. Like he said it since last year, and that's one thing we're missing out on.
Yeah. I will say Aaron Judge, I think is a co-favorite next to Stanton because he hits so many batting practice home runs, and I get so many alerts for it, and it annoys the hell out of me because I always just go to Allen Iverson. It's like we're talking about.
It's just like any other day.
We're talking about practice. And if we did have sound bites, I'd use it. But we're talking about practice, not a game. Talking about practice. Like I literally got an alert today. Like Aaron Judge is a 504-foot homer. I'm like, that's ridiculous in batting practice. I'm like, I don't care. But
even as a Yankee fan, I don't even care about it.
Yeah,
I agree.
But I mean, he still is performing. He has that for him. It's not like he's hitting BP home runs and then not performing. But because he hits so many towering batting practice home runs, it could work to his favor in the home run derby. And people have talked about Joey Votto too. Him being like they compare him to the legend of Ichiro, being able to hit a home run on command. He just doesn't choose to do it in a game. So that's another name that
we should have D. Gordon in the home run.
We should have all
talking
the
about hometown favorites.
We should have all the non-home run guys playing a home run derby.
Ben Revere,
Could you imagine
Hamilton.
just get Juan Pierre back for just a one-off? That'd be great.
I think that Madison Bumgarner should be in the home run derby and
I
have
think
him put
that's
his money
legit.
where his mouth is and
Yeah,
have everyone put their money
absolutely.
where his mouth is and see if this guy really is like just a pitcher hitting Jesus or whatever. He's supposedly the best hitting pitcher of all time. So I want to see him in the home run derby and see if he can really hang.
Yeah,
Could not
my
agree more
take.
with that.
you just gotta stop riding dirt bikes the day before game. So
Right. Good strategy.
I don't think he'll ever stop doing that, to be honest.
it's
No, he's Madison Bumgarner.
Yeah. So we'll talk more stuff that has actual implications on the season. So if any of you listen to our me and Rudy's fantasy podcast, we did our that we did last week. We did our weekend preview, and we talked about Minnesota, Cleveland, and we both kind of Rudy really went after it, saying this doesn't mean anything. Like Cleveland, it was in Cleveland, and we both kind of agreed Cleveland's gonna start to run away with the division. They swept the Twins up in Minnesota a couple weeks ago, and then the Twins come down and prove me and Rudy wrong completely by beating up on the Indians and sweeping them in Progressive Fields and retaking the NL Central lead. So, are the Twins legit contenders? It seemed like they were going to start to fade. The Indians were going to take over. Are the Indians still kind of sputtering, or are the Twins looking like legit contenders to you guys?
I feel like personally I have no right to really say anything of implication on this, considering like my prediction was viciously embarrassed, is massively incorrect, because I really thought this was the point of the season when the Indians team, which was supposed to really run away the division this season, was going to finally start doing so. And I really have not believed all year that these Twins were going to last. I just haven't seen any real reason that they should. So, and I was completely wrong. So I honestly have no idea.
I will go out and say I agree with you, Rudy, even though you think you could be completely wrong. I mean, I could be completely wrong too. I still think this is the Indians' division to lose. I mean, that pitching staff, Encarnacion's starting to hit again, and I mean the Twins are a good story right now, and they were the first team since the Twins 10 years ago that were in first place while getting the first overall pick in the MLB draft. I mean, they're a good story. I still think this is the Indians' division to lose by the end of it. So yeah, I'm gonna agree with you, Rudy. We might both be wrong by the end of this. We'll both send some sort of letter to the Twins and Paul Molitor and apologize to them.
Yeah, if you remember, I believe it was 2015. The Twins had kind of a similar run. They were in contention for the wild card late. Then they lost a lot in the last week of the season and didn't make the playoffs. And then people thought, okay, they might be pretty good in 2016. And then they sucked last year, outside of Brian Dozier. But so they've shown flashes in recent years that they can be a decent team. So and again, I agree completely. This is still the Indians' division to lose with all their talent, and I think everybody except Farbode picked them to get to the World Series. So we're all holding out hope for that. But
Yes.
yeah, and Farbode is more right than ever with Houston right now. But yeah, still the Indians thing to lose, but the Twins could cause problems at least, I think, in that division. So we'll do a quick check on injuries right now. Just a couple notable ones that I found at least. Aaron Hicks, a guy that we've talked about for the Yankees, a guy that we've talked about fantasy wise. He's having a very good year. It's just a
I
matter of
liked
playing
him on
time.
my fantasy team.
Yeah, it's just a matter of playing time. He has an oblique strain. He's going to miss about 3 to 4 weeks. So we'll see what happens when he comes back from that. Do you guys think it'll have any adverse effects besides just maybe some rust when he comes back, or is he going to...
I mean, he was already cooling down recently the past few weeks from his really impressive start, his career best start. So I think he'll end up having overall like a decent, one of his best, definitely his best season so far, a good one. But I think regardless if he had his injury or not, he wasn't going to keep up his pace, and obliques linger. Even if he can come back to playing, he could affect him for honestly a while to come. And it's really good that he'll have the All-Star break. I don't know if he'll end up making the game as a bench player, but he could use the rest either way, because that injury usually isn't, you're usually on the DL wrong, but it doesn't go away. It affects guys for months.
Yeah. And another guy, Cardinals, Dexter Fowler, who is having a good year for the Cardinals, good pickup. He's gone on the deal with a 10-day deal with a heel spur. Didn't say exactly how long he's going to be out, but yeah, the Cardinals voodoo magic that we talk about hasn't really been there this year, except for whatever that Yadier Molina stick to the chest protector was. But Cardinals are struggling. Dexter Fowler's been really one of the lone bright spots.
I think the Dodgers took all that devil magic this year. I think we harnessed it. We might have sacrificed a goat or two. I don't know what the hell happened, but we've been having some funky games. Babies.
Yeah, we always say the Cardinals sacrifice babies.
I mean, the Angels are known to light some babies up, so maybe we're doing the lighting of the babies up.
That is very true.
Yeah, so that's all us now. And I don't wish injury on guys. It sucks that Dexter Fowler is hurt, but I'm also really happy to see the Cardinals under 500. Just because Cardinal fans are like some of the worst, and up there, like they're definitely on my top 5 worst fan bases. Those Cardinal fans or something else, but I just the Cardinals, being a Dodgers fan and being knocked out by them for 2 seasons in the past 3 or 4 whatever. I have no sympathy for them, but I do have sympathy for Dexter Fowler. I hope he gets back on the field. He's been having a pretty solid season for him.
Yeah, and Dodgers might have taken some of the Giants' mojo too. The Giants are sucking, and I'm really happy about that. I'm all for that. Apparently, I read a story today that Mark Melanson early on in the season kind of rubbed some of the teammates the wrong way because there was like mandatory team stretches, and he kind of led the relievers away from those. Like they were late to them, so there's some rumblings that Melanson might not be the best clubhouse guy, and the Nationals are apparently looking at him. Because right now that contract's not looking too good for the Giants. Any of the contracts they've really signed right now are looking too good.
What was that Melanson contract? Was it 4 years, 60 million?
Something like that. It was like...
I'll look it up.
Yeah, it was something like that. That's pretty bad.
It was a record for like a half a day. Then the Yankees signed Chapman.
Right.
It was 4 years, 62.
Okay.
Oh, almost got it.
Wow, that's bad.
Yeah, I mean, good luck having taken any takers on that. I mean, if anyone, it is going to be the Nationals, at least because they have that familiarity with them, and he did fairly well for them last season. So that might be a saving grace for the Giants, and maybe they can unload that. Other than that, though, that's pretty tough.
Yeah, and I think the Nationals are desperate enough with their situation that they'd be willing to take that on. But yeah, that's not a good contract. The Giants are on pace for 100+ losses.
Wow,
can you
that's
imagine
shocking when you put it that way.
The Padres are bad. We all agree the Padres are bad. The Giants are worse than the Padres this year.
That's crazy.
It's not an even year, man.
Do you think?
No, but
do you guys
even
think
uneven years are not this bad.
Do you guys think there's any way that Bruce Bochy could actually get fired for the season? I mean, I don't think he is.
I don't
will
think
be
so.
because he's just done so much. But
I don't think so. But
yeah,
I mean,
it's been awful though. I mean, I don't really blame him because I think you can make the case he's the best manager in the game still. But wow, like they're really bad this year, and they have a lot of expensive players who are just playing terribly and aren't easy to trade for any return. And I don't think they have many good prospects coming up because they've been trading guys slowly, piece by piece for contention pieces. So this looks like it's the end of that. Finally, the end of this Giants dynasty that won three World Series.
Yeah,
3 and 58.
Yeah, I think I think as far as the Giants are concerned, if this year continues to be this bad, I think they're gonna basically strip down. If Cueto wants to walk, they'll let him walk. I mean, Bochy. I wouldn't say it was surprising if they go completely clean slate and axe Bochy if they're gonna completely clean house. But I still think you want to keep Bochy around even if you are gonna try to rebuild. But I hope the Giants stay bad for a long time.
Agreed. Seconded. Absolutely.
So now we've come to that portion of the program that everybody loves. It is Stat Game. So I'll explain it I'll explain it for those of you at
home
listening. Yeah, at home.
At car.
At car, at side of the freeway. I don't know. You can listen to this pretty much anywhere.
At park.
But also for JR guests, just so you know how it goes. It should work. I mean, obviously, you see some numbers on there. It sounds like we're going to be guessing specific spots. But normally, it is just Farbode will present a stat. You try and guess who the highest person is on there. The person who has the best guess gets a point for that round, and then we add it up at the end. And Farbode, just something, I don't know if you listened to the last stat game, but to make it easy for order, just have us pick a number between 1 and 100, and the closest to that, the too close to that, that's the order, so that we don't have any arguments about order.
All right.
So do you have a number?
Yeah, I do.
17.
JR.
$1. I'm kidding. That was a Price is Right joke. 20.
50.
All right, it's in that order exactly. Ray, JR, and
nice.
Perfect.
Cool. So is it
okay? So, basically, I have these 5 stats. They're on the doc. Some of them are gonna take more explanation than what I have written down. I'll explain it. I might not. If I don't explain it well, you can just ask me. Yeah. The first stat, drumroll please. It's the team with the highest home batting average. This is a team stat.
So team who has the highest home batting average.
Yeah, at home. Yes.
At home. Rockies.
They're number 2.
Yeah.
They're number 2.
I took my guess. Okay. I'm second, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you have one team, and then you can unseat Ray basically.
I mean, you got 2 of the top hitters in the game, Ryan Zimmerman, Daniel Murphy, as far as batting average. So I'm going to go Nationals.
You got it. Ding, 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 ding.
Oh, what's up?
I didn't even get the guess.
So, JR.
Nice. I like this game. I like it so far.
I trust me when I play it, I like him too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's 'cause
Well,
he-
that's because he cheats, but.
I do not cheat.
Sure.
No, you guys just aren't good. Okay.
That too,
the-
but also you cheat.
Okay, buddy. The second stat. This is player now, not team stat. I have like random stats with like players and team. This is player. Third highest weighted runs created plus at the catching position. And do I need to explain that stat?
Not at all.
Yeah, it's pretty straightforward.
Okay.
So like we're guessing the third guy in this list, so we should know the top
Yes.
two so that we don't like.
I mean, you could guess them, but I'm just guess. We're trying to guess the third one. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so I'm going first. Weighted runs created plus. Yasmani Grandal.
That was
Grandal. Where is he?
Is that on there?
That sounds like a
Oh,
no.
he's number 12.
Okay.
Okay, never mind.
Oh man.
I keep taking your guesses.
I mean,
Dodger fans can just like. You guys have
I mean, I gotta think Buster Posey's at the top, so I don't know if I want to pick Posey. I would think he's at the top. Man, this is tough. I'm gonna say maybe JT Realmuto.
Ooh, that's a good guess.
Real
Yes.
Muto is number 8.
Oh man.
Okay, so I'm out.
I'm gonna go with Gary Sanchez.
Gary Sanchez is number 4, so Rudy gets that
Ooh.
point.
Nice.
Number 3, which I've thought is interesting. You guys might not, but Tyler Flowers. He's
Oh,
having
wow.
a
He's
pretty
quietly had a
good
good
I didn't know
year.
he was doing that well.
Yeah.
I knew he was doing like way better. Than,
Yeah, I know.
I didn't realize he was doing that
And
well.
number 1's kind of interesting too. Alex Avila's having a great year too. He's number 1. Posey.
Posey's-
oh, wow.
So that was interesting.
A
Yeah.
great case for
Yeah.
back player of the year, I'd say,
Yeah.
together with like Ryan Herman and Eric Thames and a couple other guys. But wow, what
Yeah.
a resurgence!
Yeah. All right, here's the next one.
All right. So what's the score right now? It's Rudy 1, Ray 0, and JR 1.
Yeah.
Yep.
Whoever wins this gets a Porsche. I'm not
Okay.
buying it.
Oh.
Ray's gonna.
Wait. Why am I buying it?
I volunteered you.
A Porsche
Um,
Xbox car.
Is yours
The
down again,
lowest- But you're hosting this show.
Oh,
We'll just make Uwe buy it. We won't tell him.
Yeah, he's not here. All right. Well, he can Venmo us. All right. The lowest batting average. This is a player stat among qualified hitters.
Oh man. So Kyle Schwarber, I'm assuming he's qualified.
That's
Ding,
a great
ding, ding.
guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, that has-
Whoa,
no way it
nice.
wasn't Yeah.
Yeah.
So-
I almost said
so
Danny
now it's
Espinosa
all-
just because he was so bad, but I'm like, no.
Oh,
then
man.
then Schwarber
Yeah.
popped in my head.
That would have been a toss up for sure between those two
Yeah.
guys, probably both have just been.
All right. So all three of them
All
have
tied up.
1, and we have 2 stats left.
Ooh.
Okay, so we are. So this one is the one that Rudy did not know. It's the third highest player. Okay, let me explain this the way I texted you. Player who's third place in the number of runs his team scores with him in the lineup, like average.
Oh man, I would have no idea,
Huh.
but I gotcha. I follow.
So guy.
Yeah.
This is a guy who, when he's in
I
the
found
lineup-
it.
Huh. So it's an interesting name at number 3. Is that why you picked number 3?
I found it interesting, like with among the players that are in the top 5.
Okay. Huh,
That
this
he's
is a
in
hard
top.
one because I'm just gonna try and go for guess Paul Goldschmidt.
Paul number 5,
Okay.
Ooh.
I was gonna go-
5.068.
I was gonna go for a guy who's gonna be near there. Right?
I mean, I got to think of a team that scores a lot. I'm just gonna. I have no idea. I'm gonna take a shot in the dark. I'm gonna go Arenado.
Arenado is. I'll get back to you on that. Let me try to find him.
All right.
Oh shit! Why can't I find him?
He's probably not even on the list. I was way off.
Well, he's not number 5. So, Rudy, what's your guess?
Corey Dickerson.
Corey Dickerson is not top 5 either.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
Ray gets the point. Number 3 is Justin Turner.
What? No shit.
Really?
I was actually
Wow.
thinking that. I was thinking about
and
that.
I found it interesting because the Mike Trout's at the top with Freeman at the 2.
Mike Trout is
Aaron
at
Judge
the
at the
top, even though
Aaron Judge at the 4.
Freeman
Yeah.
still 2. That's unbelievable.
Wow.
Oh, I guess it's just with them in the lineup, so their injuries don't impact it. That's interesting.
Aaron Judge at the 4, and then Goldschmidt at the 5. And I found it just interesting that he's in that top 5. I mean, obviously he's a great player, but you know what I'm trying to get at. So Ray has 2 now.
Yeah.
Ray could run away with this, or someone could tie.
So I could claim it, or someone could tie me. And
If anyone ties, it's gonna be very anticlimactic.
yeah.
Let's make it worth 2 points.
Yeah. Okay. This one.
We'll make it
No,
worth 2 points.
we'll make
Yeah.
this one worth 2 points. Okay.
Yeah.
First time
Nice.
in War and Peace history.
Or 1.5, so that you lose by even less of a margin.
Perfect.
All right. Okay. The highest number of pitches per plate appearance. Like this is the team stat, but this is not pitches like they see it offensively. It's pitches they throw defensively. Does that make sense?
So basically, whose pitchers throw the most pitches per plate appearances?
Yes.
Huh? I had no idea where to go on this stat.
Sorry, I didn't explain it very well on the doc.
I follow completely though. It's hard for me to even venture a guess.
Yeah. I mean, you just gotta. I mean, because what do you use for a basis on this? Like, guys.
So it's like what team has to like pitch the most.
I'm looking at the
pitches
top
and then
2 right now, and the top 2 are just very interesting. And I'll explain why once we start picking. Well, once we start guessing.
Interesting. I don't know. Fuck it. Padres.
The Padres are 25th.
Okay.
Wow.
That was bad. I had no clue, and you said 2 interesting teams, so I said fuck it, Padres.
They are an interesting team.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Same here. I really don't really know where to go except the interesting team tidbit. So I'm gonna go Cubs.
The Cubs are number 3.
Oh my god!
Oh man!
Wow.
The time I didn't need
Nice.
number 3, I got number 3.
All right, Rudy.
All right,
We got 2
Rudy.
interesting teams that he said. So.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with.
Well, I'm not necessarily saying like the teams are interesting, but like the teams like 1 and 2, or I'll explain why later.
Okay.
Rudy, go.
So you guys went just with some play up interesting teams. So, damn, that's tough. Baltimore.
Baltimore is number 2.
Damn. Rudy with the steal.
Unbelievable.
Wow.
So
Sorry,
what I
man.
found interesting was the Boston Red Sox are number
Crazy.
1, and they're a pretty solid pitching team. And then, like, I looking at this, I would have no real basis to guess, and obviously you guys couldn't really find number 25. Oh, actually, I mean, you guys did guess pretty well. That was luck more
Yeah,
so than.
I mean, I didn't, but they did.
But yeah, so I guess we ended up with a tie. JR, I promise you'll do better next time.
Hey, it's all good.
I mean, this game is basically we just like it because we try to find like some sort of interesting stuff going on, because that's what baseball is. There's never anything that predictability in baseball is very difficult sometimes.
Yeah, that's what we love about it.
Yeah, I was close. I feel. I mean, for my first time, I feel I
Yeah.
did well.
Oh,
Next
yeah.
time, I'm gonna steal the show. I promise.
All right.
Oh, absolutely. So you're telling me there's a
Yeah.
next time?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I could talk baseball like just for days. So this is totally my jam.
Yeah.
That sounds great.
All right, so that about does it for the show. Unless Farbo, do you have any
I do not.
reports? Okay.
I do not today.
Just to explain Jared really quick. Is this app called was it Out of the Park?
It's a game. It's a computer game called Out of the Park Baseball. It's like you simulate yourself as a general manager, and sometimes some of the headlines are really interesting. So when I do have time to play, I find some random funny headlines, and I just say I'm on the last bits of the show, but I haven't played recently.
Okay, yeah. Well, like guys have gotten hurt walking old ladies across the street, and fights and other stuff like that. So it's interesting. So yeah, that about does it. So follow us on Twitter at WPB_podcast. Find us on Facebook, War and Peace. Email us warandpeacebaseball@gmail.com. Send us any questions, especially for our fantasy shows. Find our podcast on YouTube if you're not there. Search War and Peace. On iTunes if you're not there. Search WPB_podcast. SoundCloud, I think we're gonna have. What Uwe's telling me when it comes to SoundCloud is that you have to like pay for premium stuff to have unlimited uploads. So until we get pretty bigger and have sufficient funding, we're not going to be on SoundCloud right now. So if any of you were worried about that, that's what's going on with that. And once again, thank you to our great guest, J.R. Hernandez. Find him on the Angry Dodgers podcast. I know it's on iTunes with Stitcher and Google Play, I believe, too.
Go check that out. I'm not a Dodgers fan. I normally don't like so much about the Dodgers. No offense, but
untaken.
But I enjoyed the podcast listening to it today.
Yeah, thanks, man. I really appreciate that. It is on iTunes, and then by default, it kind of goes to Stitcher, and then it's also on Google Play. I don't do SoundCloud either for that similar reason that you just outlined. It's just, and to me, it's just more work. I kind of like to just throw it out there and have it be, kind of all automated. And with SoundCloud, it's kind of hard to do that. So I just got lazy and didn't do it, and it's doing okay.
Yeah.
So you guys are good.
Yeah, follow him on Twitter at JR Hernandez LA, and your podcast will also show up. And I saw some articles about on AngryDodgersFan.com. So check him out. So I highly recommend him. It sounds like my friends got the first look. Rudy and Farbo got the first look at him recently. They like him. So yeah, check him out. Thank you for being here. And as always, Farbode.
Peace.